Hello, everyone. It's that time of the week again. It's time for Inquiring Minds. I'm Hialeah Comic Bro, and as always, I'm accompanied by Conquistadorks Javi. Javi, how you doing? Oh, Javi got stuck. Javi. Okay, Javi's here. He'll be right back. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring in our guest, a very special guest, as always, Tim, the Comic Collector.
Howdy.
What's going on, man?
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. Thanks for accepting the invite. Javi was fine up until we went live, so I'm sure he'll pop back in a second. But he is with us, and here he comes back. There he goes.
What's up, Javi? Yo, my internet just kind of like went in and out as soon as you went live.
Dude, we were perfect, man. We were talking backstage, and all of a sudden, it's like, hello. I was like looking, and I was like, Javi?
That's how it always works. It waits till you're live to mess up.
Exactly.
That's exactly what's going on.
It's like they know. It's like somebody knows. Somebody's watching.
Yeah.
So tonight we're on a little earlier. We're on at 7 o'clock. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I know we are going up against Discovery and his comic shop and
pop-up shop. Yeah.
And he's got almost every round has been bought, I believe, man. It's crazy by the community. So if you're gonna come in late, you're gonna see that on the replay. Thank you. We got Comic Collector today, and we got a few good people in the chat. Anyway, man.
Yes, we always have some awesome people. Unruly Simeon throwing up the peace sign. What's going on, Unruly? Comic Head 84. Hopefully he'll be joining us in the chat as he's commuting home from work. What's up? Can't get enough. What's up? What's up? Pope Cerebus the First. Yeah, nice magic trick. I can disappear and reappear. YouTube is 90. What's going on, Chad?
Awesome, man. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Comic Collector, I got a question, dude. I want to start this off I know your name is Tim. Did you used to be Tim the Comic Collector, or it's always been Comic Collector, or because
I think Metarog started that. I've always just been the Comic Collector on YouTube.
Okay.
But that was taken on Instagram.
Gotcha.
So on Instagram, I'm Tim _ the Comic Collector. So I think some people, started calling me that. But Roger, Roger always calls people by their first names.
Yeah, man.
So like anytime I'm in a chat on a show he's on, he'll be like, Tim the Comic Collector, and it just sort of stuck from there. Yeah.
Dude, isn't that awesome that he remembers everybody's name? Dude, he's special, huh? Metarog?
That is.
God, yeah. I forget names with the quickness, dude. I'm horrible.
Well, I forget names, and then people will tell me where they're from, like all the people from the community, and I was just like, okay.
Dude, you know what I do, man? I got like a little paper, and I try to keep track. But it's still not. I still gotta reference the paper, man. So Tim, I could call you Tim, right?
Sure.
Awesome, man. So tell me, how long have you been on YouTube?
Actually, it's a year this month.
Oh, dude, congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Dude, what made you get into it?
Wow, nice, yeah.
It's actually a weird story that me and my wife joke about a lot now that I do a lot of live stuff and I'm like real active. I was never a technological person. I didn't have Instagram, didn't really watch YouTube, didn't know much about it. And just one day I was bored, so I was trying to, it's weird because I was trying to look up people like us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I just wasn't typing in the right stuff. I wasn't finding like people doing hauls, people showing their collections. I'd find people like, the one thing I would find is like people showing their top 50 slabs, which is weird because since then I've never seen that again.
Okay, yeah.
But I was sort of frustrated. I'm like, there's got to be people posting like their Batman collection or like books they picked up this week. And my wife just looks at me and she's like, well, if you can't find it, why don't you just do it yourself? So I just started making, I think the first video I did, which I regret, I deleted all my collection videos when the Kappa scare happened.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start doing them again, but I just posted like, here's my Batman run, or here's my Superman run. And actually, how I found the community was a couple YouTubers. Library of Comics. He used to go by Runs in the Family.
Mm.
And he was my first subscriber. My second was the Go-To Geeks, which is now just
Wait a second, your wife wasn't your first subscriber?
well, my first subscriber outside of my family, because I think like my first 3 was like family.
Yeah.
But Go-To Geeks, which is now just King of Comicdom.
Yeah, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like through them, like through Library, I found Don Comic Junkie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the second video I saw Go-To Geeks do was an AOK from Metarog.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Well, you start watching Metarog, you see his contest roundup, and you know I start subbing everyone he's talking about, and next thing you know, you're just part of the community.
Dude, your channel's blown up too. You got like over 700 freaking subs, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I give that back to the community because I'd say probably 500-600 of those are just other channels that, you know, just community supporting each other.
Yeah.
And that's awesome how they came to you, like you got those subscribers, and then that's how you kind of started to grow. It's not like for, you know, Chad just kind of brought me in and I kind of had like an understanding of like what this was, but for you it's like the complete opposite. You just started doing and everything yourself, and then like I don't know, like the community came to you. That's what's kind of cool. Yeah,
I've said that I think in like my first contest video that like I didn't find the comic community, they found me.
Yeah.
And that's really what it was. I don't even remember what I was typing back then, but like I could not find, like I'd find like you know, comics explained or whatever. Well, that ain't really like, not to talk bad about him, he ain't a channel like us. It's almost someone explaining a story to you. I read the stories. I wanted to see everyday people, you know.
Do you collect with anybody, or you would just go to your shops, do your hunting, and then you would just come home, read it, and put everything in the box, and that was it?
Well, it's part I guess of my origin. Mm-hmm. My family, especially my mom and my grandparents, all collected something.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow, nice.
And I would always go to flea markets and, you know, antique malls. Most every Saturday, I would spend the morning with my grandpa, and that's usually what we would do. And like comics, I honestly can't remember not having comics. It's only because of dates on stuff. I could tell you what my first books were, and that's Death of Superman, because that's the oldest, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember when that was happening in Nightfall, my grandma would buy a set for her and buy a set for me, you know, as they came out and given to me.
Say that again. Who would buy a set for? Your grandma would buy a set for her?
Yeah, because she collected, you know. And
she collected comics too?
Yeah, she mainly collected like Elvis paraphernalia and stuff like that.
Okay.
But anything kind of trendy, like even back then she'd buy like the first set of Beanie Babies, you know, I mean, all that kind of stuff.
That's cool, bro. You're blessed. What did your grandfather collect?
He collected, I guess, golf kind of memorabilia. Mm-hmm. He bought a lot of Western books, specifically Louis L'Amour. Okay. And he would collect like older instruments, like guitars, stuff like that. He didn't have as big a collection. It seemed like he was always, to kind of give it a phrase for our community, looking for that grail. Mm-hmm. Like he would want a guitar, but not just any guitar. Or he'd want this specific golf club made in this year, you know?
Yeah.
He was picky. So, he was picky, and he knew what he wanted. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Yep.
Dude, you're blessed, man.
Definitely.
Javi, is there any other collectors in your family?
My mom collects stamps.
Yeah.
Stamps. Yeah. To this day, yeah, she has a stamp collection, and yeah, she's like, they're gonna go to you, and I'm like, okay.
Well, she might have some comic book stamps in there.
Yeah,
you never know.
Maybe some Superman stamps back in the days. Yeah,
Marvel came up with some back a few years ago. They were pretty badass.
Oh, what's up, Simple Simon? We also had Mark Knapp and Comic Books NYC joining us.
Silver H Dave, what's going on, Silver?
What's up, everybody?
We got Tim tonight. Okay, so dude, you're blessed.
Definitely.
I think nobody in my family aside from me and my brother, we usually collect the same thing. What's up, JLS? And that was about it, man. So you got into collecting through your grandparents and your mom and stuff, right? Everybody. And
it was like a lifestyle, you know.
It's always been comics.
Yeah, I collected some hockey cards, you know, probably from when I was like 11 or 12 until, you know, 16, 17, when you start, you know how it is, you get your car and your first job and everything. But
yeah,
comics, it was always comics. Like I said, I don't remember, you know, not having comics.
Where are you located?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
You're probably about a 25-minute drive south of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So like just outside in the suburbs.
You got a lot of shops in your neighborhood?
We do have a decent amount of shops, but what we have that's really good is stores like vintage stock and half-price books.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And there's actually I ended up meeting a local guy through Instagram. There's a store, it's a back issue shop just in an antique mall, and they just sell back issues.
Uh-huh.
And you should watch my videos, my live hunt sometimes. I show the store. It's a huge store with dollar books, 50-cent books. I mean,
I see.
Their wall books, they have wall books, but you can get them cheap, you know?
I was watching one of your videos, and I actually was in Austin, and I hit up one of those half-price books, and you have one, and you were in one.
Yeah.
Those stores are amazing, bro.
They are.
We don't have, and I've never walked into
my
half-price
God.
shop. Yeah.
You were in one of your recent videos, and you were just looking because they got. I explain In and Out. I mean, not In and Out Burger. I'm sorry, not In. I got In and Out Burger in my mind. I'm sorry. Half price books. Explain
it's like your typical resale shop that specializes in like records, CDs, books, you know, stuff like that. But their comic section, they'll have. It could be 50-50 sometimes, but what it's supposed to be is half of cover. Mm-hmm. So they'll have 25 to 75-cent books underneath. And on top is mainly modernish stuff that'll be half of what the cover is.
Right. But
sometimes either they find out what it's worth.
Yeah.
Or even books that aren't worth it. Like you'll come across a random book that's like $30. But on the same hand, you come across like modern grails, you know, stuff like that for $2, you know, or $1.50 if it was $3. And some of them do have like a little, it's like a glass case on top of the long box with some finger holes through it. That'll have some older books. So I mean, sometimes, like I said, like I think I saw Batman New 52 #1 for $75.
Oh, wow.
Like to me, that's high priced, right?
Yeah.
But then I got like the issue where Barry killed Reverse Flash, like super nice condition, $10. So it's, you know, sort of hit or miss.
Dude, I was amazed, man. I told the story in another video, but I found an Akira one for $10. It's called Witches #1. I found a Southern Bastard #1 for $5. I was books, man, and it's crazy. Javi, you would go nuts if we had one of those because the store is massive too. It's not a small store.
Is the sticker price 10 or is the sticker price 20? So you got it for 10?
No, the sticker price was 10. It would, and these are like a section that they had them bag and boarded, and then they have another section.
So they're already. So the price is already like.
I guess somebody went through those.
Okay.
Saw what they were and priced them, and I guess they. Going by it's $10, they saw that it was a $20 book. Is that what I should assume?
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, you'll come in one day at a half-price books. They just had a new short box of 50-cent books. So I'm flipping through it, and at the time, I didn't know how much it was worth or what it was. I just knew I wanted it.
Right.
But the Elseworlds 80-page giant, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's like it was a book that got recalled because one of the mini stories in there, it's a story where Superman's as a baby, but he winds up in the microwave.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's like a super cool find just sitting in a 50-cent bin. You know,
it's crazy. How often do you go? How often do you go?
There's one by my LCS, which is on the way home from work. I usually hit that up a couple times a month.
Okay.
And then there's a couple other better ones that are bigger and have more. And I have two kids. One's 2 and one's 8 months. Actually, 9 months as of yesterday.
Nice, guys.
Oh, nice.
So, like, if they're in a good mood, sometimes I try to go, but you're kind of up to their whims.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was so impressed with that, man. You're surrounded right now by books, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I was looking at your videos, and Javi, does Tim know how alike you guys are?
With what, our collecting style or?
And the hunting style? I was watching, man. You do some live kind of like Biggie-esque live hunting videos.
Yeah, live hunts. Yeah.
Yeah, live hunts. And dude, and you take your time and you dig. And Javi, you and Javi are like kindred souls, man. My God. I felt like I was watching Javi.
How long do you think you could stay at a comic book shop just digging? Just hunting?
Oh, if it wasn't for work or my kids, I could just stay there all day.
Right?
Just all day.
It's so good, right?
Definitely.
Do you have anybody that you hunt with or hang out with to go get books? Or
I'm hoping. I just met the guy I was just mentioning that told me about that back issue shop. He was on just an Instagram. His name's Retrotigo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we actually got to meet at a Microcon here in St. Louis, and he started a YouTube channel about a month before that. And we do a Superman show. It's about monthly. We just done one episode with Super Russ 9000, but we're planning to do some hunts together. But before that, before the kids, I had my wife train that we'd go to like a con, and she would have my book. This is before the CLZ app. So I would pull books out and hand them to her. She would check them in the book, and she would carry the money. So when I was done, she'd go and pay, and I could head to like the next booth.
Oh my God!
Wow.
We were like a well-oiled machine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but now if we go to something, she has the kids, in a stroller, so it ain't the same.
Yeah. How many books do you have in your collection, man?
See, not counting manga, not counting Archie's, just DC, Simpsons, and like comic-related magazines, it's at like 12,100.
What?
Wow.
And when I counted my Archies, it was about 12,000.
And you mainly collect DC. Wait.
Yep.
When you counted your Archies alone are 12,000?
Yeah, it's more than that now because I probably collected Archies a couple years after I counted it.
So in total, you're saying 24,000?
Yep, right around there. Plus, like, I don't know, I think it's 200 or 300 manga volumes.
And you don't really collect Marvel, right? You're mainly a guy.
Do you have any Marvel or?
Yeah, you probably can't see it. Yeah, it's behind me. I have a short box that's Marvel and AOK, stuff like that, contest wins from YouTube.
Nice.
I'm not against Marvel.
Oh, no. Okay. It's
like,
all right.
I started off with DC, and when I was probably 10, 11, somewhere in that area, I got in trouble for fighting at school, so my parents took my superhero books away. But I was allowed to have Archie, and I just love comics, so that's sort of how I got into Archie. Like, I grew up in a Christian home, and that's like a, Christian-friendly thing.
Yeah, nice.
And then, like I said, when I turned 16, I didn't actively collect comics. I'd pick them up here or there.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 21, I was watching 21, 22. I saw Justice League Unlimited, and I went back to my parents, got my DC back, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then just since then, I've been collecting DC.
Wait, look at the comment, because that's how I feel. Look at Perry right there, man.
Perry.
12,000 Archies. That's
So are they the floppies or are they
the smaller ones that?
Yeah, I'd probably say a third of the Archies are digests, and then 2/3 are just books. And because you have to keep in mind, I'm 34, so that age I'm talking about is the 90s when I was getting Archies. Well, back then, you could get silver and bronze, like they were everywhere. And I mean, I remember we'd go to a flea market, my grandpa would buy a short box for $5 of just Archie. stuff like that. You'd be buying them for a dime or a nickel. So my Archie's mainly Silver and Bronze Age.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's impressive, bro. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I don't read it anymore, but there's a lot of memories in them,
Of course.
I pick up Archie versus Predator.
Yeah.
That's one that I like.
I want to read that, and they actually did an Archie versus Sharknado.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
And I was like, that sounds so insane. I just want to see what it's about.
Oh, man. And they did the whole rock, like the Archie meets all the rock bands. That's always cool, too.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you sell any books?
No, I saw one time.
I kind of knew that answer.
Yeah. I'm not an active seller. I'm just sort of like what my name says. I'm a full-on just hunter collector.
Yeah.
To me, part of it reminds me of growing up with my family, but I just love the thrill of the hunt. It's probably what people that play a lot of scratchers when they win that $100 or $1,000. When you're flipping through and it's like maybe you need one book to finish a run, you find that book.
Isn't that an amazing feeling?
Yeah, I've been buying a lot online, and I still feel like that's cheating.
Yeah,
it's like I'd much rather find it in the wild.
Totally agree with you, man. If you're a run collector and you find it's too easy to go on it. Yeah, collecting. eBay, all that kind of ruined the run collector, because I remember I used to be a run collector, not anymore, but back in the day, man, an insignificant book, and you would find it, it was like, it was euphoric. Yeah. And now the internet just makes it a little easier. One thing I still do is when I find a book, you get so much more pleasure when you find it in a store or wherever you find it than getting it on eBay, man. God, the gratification is just so much more.
Yeah, man.
One reason I don't feel sorry, Javi.
It's just that feeling, it's the hunting feeling, it's like you're on the hunt and you got your score. That's what it is,
Yeah,
it's freaking amazing. So your wife is very supportive, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, yep. She knew early on, before when we were starting to get serious dating, is I collect comics, She's like, oh, that's okay. It's like, no, you don't understand. I really collect comics.
You don't know what you're getting into. You think you know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
The thing is, man, comics are not the only thing you collect. You got some stuff right behind your right shoulder right there.
Yeah.
You're a big action figure collector, aren't you?
Well, it's funny. For years, I always looked at action figures and I said I would never buy them because, I told you what I was getting Archies for as a kid. Well, even the majority of this collection, I paid 50 cents or less for.
Oh, wow.
So, you see an action figure, it's $25. It's like, how many comics I could get for that?
Yeah.
I could take that and go to eBay and get the key I need to finish this run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was probably about a month ago. I was at a GameStop and I was going to get an action figure because I'd been wanting to buy a $100 statue of Nightwing. Okay. I'm like, I could just get this new figure, save money. That's where it all went wrong, or right, depending on your definition, because they had a new, I don't know where it is, the new Batman Hellbat suit. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I can't leave this, And then behind it is the Superman in his armor. I'm like, well, I can't buy the Batman, leave the Superman. So next thing you know, I'll try to tilt this. In about a month, I've got all those figures all up through there.
In a month?
Yep, in about a month.
Oh, dude, you got the bug.
Yeah, this was my tied for my favorite character is Nightwing, and I love Kyle Rayner. So this was a bit of a grail. Yeah. I know there's a lot of bad glare on that, but
no, you can see it fine, man. It's all good.
And another figure, I just think this is the coolest, funnest thing. You got Bizarro.
And
then he even has his back turned to you.
That is so cool, dude.
And it comes with all the cool stuff his Bizarro thing and his Clark Kent uniform, and
that's pretty bad.
I just think that's so fun.
Okay, so you don't open them, huh?
I do. I will open them if I could put them back in the box.
Okay, yeah, I got
But
you.
like some of these older ones, I don't know if you could see like that Firestorm
Yeah,
Yeah.
up there.
yeah.
Once you open that, like the yellow, you can't get that back in. So I won't open that.
You got
But
pops.
I have a few. They're not in here. I have like maybe a dozen. Some are anime related, like Dragon Ball, Naruto,
Yeah.
and I got Batman, Green Lantern. I do have not Thanos, a Galactus. I got
Nice.
when it came out. The GameStop deal. So I think I paid $1 for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you mentioned something. I kind of think in those terms. You mentioned it briefly. If I get that, that's a comic. If I get that, I do that with everything, man. Shoes.
Yeah,
I don't really. Everything
Yeah.
I relate it to comics.
That's your opportunity
Yeah.
cost. That's what we call your
Yeah.
opportunity cost in economics.
Yeah,
But
dude.
see, part of it is like my original goal of collecting. Apart from Batman, I finally finished. The last thing I needed was some Superman, and the goal of my collection is from Crisis forward, and mainly to Flashpoint. I'll collect after Flashpoint.
Mhm.
And for those that don't know, Flashpoint is basically when the old universe ended and like New 52 started.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just got like the last couple action I need, and like everything else, Green Lantern, Justice League, Justice Society, Batman spinoffs like Nightwing, Robin, like finally completed all that.
Wow.
That's
And like all I really need is some Batman, but like just to throw you an instance, like Detective 880 is one I need. And that
Okay.
thing's just, there's
Yeah.
nothing key about it. It's just a jock cover, and I ain't gonna pay like $500,
It's just
to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so
So-
nice.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking at those Mexican foil variants. Like, well, it's technically the issue, right? Like, you can fill the run.
The foil variants are nice. I think there was some from a con, right? I think there was like a black foil one or something.
That's what that's what I think when they say the Mexican variant. I think it was at a Mexico con. That's what I assume when I look at it.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. What's up, Werewolf? What's up, Sharon?
What's up, everybody? Wow, man. So from Crisis to pretty much when like right before Rebirth or right before New 52.
And I always pick Crisis for two reasons. That's when the stories got a little bit more mature.
Okay, yeah.
And then a lot of stuff before that is when you really start getting pricey. So just when I kind of learned about comics in my 20s, like, hey, this is a good era to collect. And I didn't think I'd ever get that many, but it's been about 13 years just going after DC.
Yeah. And has the anime and the comics, has that always been in tandem? Or did you kind of go off of one and then pick the other one up and then
like I mentioned in my teenage years, the only nerd friends I ever had in my life, they weren't into comics. They were into the manga and anime.
That's a lot of my friends are like that too, yeah.
Yeah, and like before that, I didn't know that Dragon Ball Z is an anime. I just thought it was like a show.
A cartoon, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, and they started showing me like Shonen Jump, which to me in concept is maybe the coolest thing in the world. Like, you guys know Shonen Jump?
Oh, I know.
The weekly.
Yeah, so every week you get this magazine for like the price of one of our comics that has like 20 different comics, and each comic is the size of one of our comics.
Wow.
Like, I just think that's a cool idea. And I got into that from then, and I was actually buying manga probably a year or two before I got into DC.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I just sort of follow certain things, pick up the new ones.
Awesome. I know Simple Simon was shouting out your awesome Deku shirt earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the newest ones I've been into is My Hero Academy and One Punch Man.
One Punch Man is awesome.
Yeah.
I know him, dude. He's cool. I like him.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's always that like fan theory talk, where it's like who would win, One Punch Man, Superman, or Superman versus Goku. It's always funny, the debates between comic collectors and then like anime collectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's an easy answer to the Goku Superman, because Superman don't kill. So Goku would just keep coming back, and Saiyans get stronger every time they fight.
That's Hey, well, let's have a debate.
Yeah.
Hey, man, do it.
That's awesome.
I can't get involved, man. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I know. Yeah.
I know brief, very, very little about it.
Just like the silver lining, just like the foundation.
Yeah.
Man, Dragon Ball, One Punch Man, the Naruto. Those are all like the classic ones, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Bleach, that was one. That was the big one I got into, and then I sort of fanned out from there, sort of remembering what my teenage friends were telling me about,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Naruto was fantastic.
That's the easy answer, says Eric.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. My sons were into it, so I know they were into it, but it was a little past my time. I wasn't into comics. I wasn't into comics at that time when all that was happening, because I had like that 25-year gap, I think, from like 93, 94 to like about 2015. I wasn't into it at all.
Oh.
And then I got into it because of YouTube, and slowly, boom, 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 I got back into it, and now I got Comics on the Mind, the perfect name.
Yeah.
I have a problem. I have a serious problem. But anyway, dude, man, so where do you keep all these comics?
Well, before they were everywhere, and since my kids came, like, I don't know who's seen my room tour video. This is just the closet in my bedroom.
That's what I was going to say. That's a closet you're in. I could tell that's a closet, dude.
That's why I don't like them being stacked this high, but they are.
Uh-huh.
And then I actually had them.
Ones, yeah.
Yeah, I had them all around the top until Comic Fu, a buddy I do fanboys with, was like, those are going to fall and kill you one day. So then I moved them all down and put the action figures up there.
Smart.
Pretty much they're in here, so the 2-year-old can't get to them.
Dude,
is that all 12,000 plus your Archies in there, or?
Most of my comics are in here. Some actually way down my TV stand. My manga has its own shelf, and all the Archies are in the basement. Like, I keep them sealed in totes.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, because that's just way too many. Like, I mean, I guess I could put my main comics down there, but I don't trust the weather.
Yeah.
Like, I'd want them airtight.
Right.
So.
When you started on YouTube, did you show your face, or it was all behind the scenes?
No, I never showed my face, I think, until I went live, and I think it was with Super Russ the first time.
Nice.
What made you finally jump in and go live?
Well, the Comic Food that I mentioned, we started talking. I think we started about the same time on YouTube, and we're both huge Green Lantern fans. So we talked on Instagram, and we started our Fanboys live in the retro review that we do on Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's really when I started going live all the time. And then Tony Fett, I don't know if you guys know him. He's a huge Green Lantern fan. We had him on as a guest, and it was just such a connection. Like, where are you going to meet 3 huge Green Lantern fans like that? And then we brought him in full time. So that's...
Yeah, that's it. You have a weekly show with them, right?
Yep, the 3 of us, we do it's Fanboys Live on the Retro Review, and it's a DC Comics only show. But we just start off and joke around, talk about news and new books, and then we review an old story. And that's pretty much the show.
Yeah, you recently started that up.
Recently, right.
Yeah, it was like maybe the last 3 months of last year, something like that.
I remember catching one of those episodes, yeah.
You have a contest actually going on, don't you?
Yeah, it's for those that don't know, the show rotates between the 3 of our channels. Saturday, it's actually on Tony's. And we started the first Saturday of the month till the first Saturday of next month is when the contest runs. And we give a code word each episode, sort of like the radio. You call in and, say whatever code word. Mm-hmm. You just make a video, give us the code word, and tell us something you like about the show and like something you'd like to see, like a segment or a story you'd like us to review. And that's all you got to do to get in.
Yeah, I saw that. The first one I think is a phrase, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a phrase every week, and I did the first week real early just to make it easy. But then after that, it could be anywhere. But you just need one phrase. You don't need all of them or nothing.
That's cool. You also do a lot of unboxing videos, like mystery boxes, right?
I just started that, and I know I talk about Dave a lot, but he, one of my best friends on here, he's huge into that, and I think that he's over 1,000 subs now, and that's one of the big things that really propelled him.
Yeah.
But how I got into it is he started a new...
You're talking about Comic Fu, right?
Yep, Comic Fu 2814. Right. And Stevie, I saw Stevie B in the chat. He started a show with Stevie B, Squatchy, and Chad RCG called The Mystery Men.
Right.
Nice.
And something cool they do is they actually send... It's all Comic Vantage boxes. They actually send those boxes out to the community and bring them in to open up with, with the 4 Mystery Men. And the first show, they brought me in.
Oh, awesome.
And that like got me the bug. So now I've been trying a bunch of different mystery boxes, and
was it
actually
Biggie Shack on? Was it Biggie Shack on?
Yeah, he was on with me, I think. Yeah, for episode 1. Yeah. I did the first one I bought myself. I actually got this.
Oh man.
First Phantasm in comics.
Oh
yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Dude.
Yeah. Because I'm mainly a DC collector, and the first Vantage box, I did get it's a darker image ash can, and I'm giving that away in the contest. But to buy one myself and then get a DC book like this.
And that was the first box you bought? No, right?
Yeah, it was the second box I opened. The first one I bought myself because the Mystery Men gave me the first one.
Dude, they just freaking hooked your ass, dude.
Yeah. And then King of Comicdom, if you know him, he started doing mystery boxes.
Yeah.
So he puts on Instagram, I think it was $90 for the first one, 50 books, all Bronze Age, and you could pick all DC or Marvel.
Yeah.
So I mean, something like that's out there. Like, how can you turn it down? Because, like I said, I collect Crisis, which is sort of maybe the beginning of Copper, depending on your take.
Right.
So it's like I'm not going to have any of these books, Yeah, I'm pretty much all in on the mystery boxes now.
Yeah, I could see it. You look on your videos, and all of a sudden they just start, and it's like you got like 6 videos in a row, and it's just mystery boxes.
Yeah, I just did this one. This is the last one. I found it on eBay. It was a 200 all DC comic lot. It just showed up in this short box.
It just showed up like that?
Yeah, that's it.
And you found that where?
On eBay. Yeah, I just typed in like DC comic lot or DC comic mystery box, like 100, 200. And this guy sells them in different, like 50, 100, 200. And you could pick Marvel, DC, or mixed.
Oh my God, I did not know that. I've
So
seen
you haven't opened that one yet.
What was that, Javi?
So you haven't opened that one yet, right, Tim?
No, that was my last video, was that.
Okay.
Oh, and was that inside another box when it shipped?
No, it just showed up.
In the box?
Yep, just in this short box, just like this.
That's awesome.
So like I cut the tape and that's all.
What was the shipping on that?
It was free. Like I believe it was 88 with free shipping was the listing. And you know how like if you look at something or maybe watch it or something, sometimes they send you an offer?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was just looking around and I didn't even necessarily remember this. Like I'm looking at all these mystery boxes and I get an alert that they offered me. It was either 10 or 15% off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I like impulse buyed it and it was still like right around 80. And then I was starting to regret it. Like, what if it's just a bunch of doubles or, a bunch of books I already had, but it wound up being pretty good.
Nice.
Dude, that's nuts. That's freaking nuts, dude. Look what Stevie B just put. Our guests always seem to get the big hits.
Yeah. Stevie, like, you should try it. I got a ton of Titans. I know Stevie likes Titans. Bunch of cool stuff in that box.
Yeah, he just asked that question. I almost tried that one. How did you do?
I did real good. You should check the video, of course, if you want to see the books, but they were decent condition, and I'd say from 80s to even modern, like books that come out a few months ago, variants. I mean, all types of cool stuff in there.
My God.
Yeah.
That's just mind-boggling.
Like I expected to get, like 12 issue of the same Death of Superman book, but
Right.
that ain't what it was.
Tim. Okay, wait. That shit shows up. You already got 24,000 comics, right? It shows up at home, at your house, on your door. You found it or your wife? Did your wife see it?
Yeah, I posted somewhere about that. Like, you should have seen the look on my wife's face when she just saw a short box show up. Yeah.
It's like, oh, more comics.
Yeah.
She's like, really? She must have been like, really?
Yeah.
You're buying in boxes now, in short boxes? What
Yeah.
the fuck? That's crazy, bro.
Well, that's what she said. Like, when I started getting mystery boxes, like, it's basically like buying scratchers or something. And I was like, well, you're getting comics. So I mean, if you get stuff you already have, you could send it out. That's what I plan to do with a lot of this, is double send to the community or like the contest.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. That's just freaking mind-blowing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
God bless you, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I don't know if I could do that one, man. I'm sorry. And you know what, too, man? I'm not a DC collector. Certain ones I do, but it just makes me happy that you are, because that just means there's more Marvel books for me, dude. I don't get offended. Dude, collect your way. I don't care, man.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's a freaking amazing hobby to have, because there is so many ways to collect. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Dude, I'm wow.
Oh man.
First you got me with the 12,000 Archies. That's nuts. I think who's the other collector in the community? Is it? I might be mistaken, but I think it's Area 51. That's a big Archie collector.
Mr. Gretzky 9966. He's like a mainly Archie collector.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. No, Area 51 I think is more action figures. Yeah, he's more action figures. Oh my God.
I know Alex the Comic Hoarder has been posting a lot of Archies on Instagram and stuff.
Actually, Biggie's just got a few nice Archies, man. They are nice. Do you have the older Archies? Do you tend to collect more modern stuff, right? From Copper, maybe some Bronze Age?
Like I was saying, that's just sort of being realistic and not wanting to pay top dollar to get 70s books. But Archie, I got, like I said, is mainly silver and bronze, and the only golden age comic I have is called Super Duck. It's an Archie title, and it's from 1946.
What was it called?
Super Duck.
Super Duck, and it's from 1946.
Yeah, it's pretty much like their version of Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing, like, I remember coming across your channel when I first started and watching your haul videos or your collection videos, and you lay out the Archies in front of each other, and that was one of the first videos that I watched from you, and on your room tour too. And I remember when you were doing an unboxing video. And you mentioned it. You mentioned earlier in the stream how you had to take all those videos down, but they were almost 900 views. And
we see that's those were the biggest ones. I had an Archie one coming up. I forget now. I don't even want to say it. I think it was 1,000 views, close to 900s.
Wow.
But like the Archies are part of what made my decision when I deleted those, because I knew those were going to be targeted for kids, which was a shame, because those were my best videos as far as getting views and stuff. Now I kind of wish I wouldn't have maybe just kept them and marked those as for kids, because we didn't know the rules and stuff. Like my first hunt videos are called Hunt for a Comic Haul, that are edited videos, and I'm glad I didn't delete those, because my children are in them. So I just kept those and marked those for kids. Well, we didn't know you could mark your videos different ways, and it was sort of a panic move that I regret.
It happens, man. Everybody was pretty much all scared, and with everything that's going on now, God, doesn't that sound trivial that we were worried about Copa and
Yeah.
we didn't know what was coming around the corner. The real problem was coming around the corner, dude. And Copa,
Right.
Yeah.
oh, dude.
I mean, it seems like just yesterday it was like you're just seeing the videos from China of like people walking around the empty city.
Mhm.
Had no idea it would get over here and be this serious.
Copa was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, so far I haven't heard of anyone like
Nobody.
anywhere getting hit by Copa.
I haven't heard anything either.
Yeah. It may have just been a scare tactic because, like we said, YouTube just got a slap on the wrist. So maybe it was FTC in their way of really trying to get to YouTube by scaring their creators.
Acting like they were doing. Man,
Yeah.
not ruin it. Let's not jinx it, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could be. We're thinking along the same lines, dude. We're thinking about those same lines.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. What was it? You didn't fall to the Copa? Hialeah, next victim of the mystery man.
Yeah,
I've never bought a box. I have received one as an AOK, and that was pretty cool. But I'm not a gambler, so I've never actually. I kind of like to see what I get, and I don't even play the lotto. I don't.
Look, you know how I justify it, right?
How?
Like I just said, like I don't spend a ton of money on the boxes. I mean, I did for a little bit there, but you could justify it as for your channel.
Yeah.
And then even like I said, if I get stuff I have or whatever, that's just AOKs or contest stuff down the road.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you could look at it.
I love your channel because you're just bringing in more content,
Yeah.
So that's a good way to look at it, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas, that's what Stevie B says.
Tim.
Yeah, I blame the mystery men. Like I've said it before, but I call them crack dealers because the first mystery box is free. The first taste.
Yeah. And then you're hooked.
Exactly.
I bought a few boxes. Let me see. For my future, yeah. Okay, so Tim, what's the Ducks fan?
Oh yeah, I like I mentioned hockey cards.
Yeah.
I grew up playing hockey and was a huge hockey fan. And I, of course, love the local team, the Blues, but I always loved the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
That was like my main team.
So it's not the Blues?
I like to say it's 1A and 1B.
Who was it that they had? Was it Hall? Wow.
Yeah, Brett Hall.
Brett Hall. That was the son.
Yeah.
That's right. They won did they win a Stanley Cup?
The Ducks won a Stanley Cup in 2007, and then the Blues just won the last one. That was their first ever.
Oh, that's right. They never won it with Brett Hall. They won it now. That's
No.
right. Wow.
It was really, for those who don't know, the Blues of the original 12 NHL teams, the only one that hadn't won it.
Was them?
And last year, they were the first professional sports team over halfway through the season to be dead last in the league to turn around and win it. Like, you talk about a miracle season. Not only that, in the second round, a guy from St. Louis scored a double overtime series winning goal against the goalie from St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
Like, you just talk about, like, you could not write a movie that's more miraculous, a script more miraculous than what the St. Louis Blues did last year. It was insane.
Didn't they have a song? They were the ones with the song, right?
Yeah, Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria, bro, from
Yeah.
God, what's her name? Laura Branigan, right?
I don't even know the name. I just know that song was. You couldn't walk into Schnucks without hearing that song.
Laura Branigan, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Gloria, dude, what a great song to pick for your freaking song.
Yeah, like some of the Blues were at a bar in Philadelphia after a loss, right before they went on their streak, and just talking about trying to turn the season around, and that song was playing at the bar. So when they won the next game, they talked the PA guy into playing it, or however that happened, and it just became a thing off that, because they had a huge winning streak, 12 games or something.
Right.
And that's where it came from. Yeah.
That's too funny.
Dude, that was so cool. I didn't see that until I think they got into the playoffs and they started showing it on TV and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, that was amazing, bro. Who was it that they was it Boston?
Yeah, they beat Boston.
They beat Boston, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're big.
Their goalie was like 6th on the depth chart going into the season. Just some no-name guy came out, and he's like an all-star now. He was at the All-Star game, just no-name guy, lighting it up.
That's crazy. Oh, look! I met Gordie Hall once, and the same year I stood behind Wayne Gretzky in a fancy buffet line before the ice at a Red Wings game.
That's awesome. That's room with greatness right there.
I wasn't a big. I learned hockey from video games, man. I used to play NHL or something. I remember I was always I love the Red Wings. I was always the freaking Red Wings. I love the Red Wings. Who was it that they were? You
see here in St. Louis, that's like the most hated team, maybe. Yeah.
And they were great in the 90s, right? Then they had Russian dudes.
Yeah, like 90s till 2010.
Yeah,
they won, I think, 4 or something like that.
I remember my favorite was Yzerman.
Yeah.
Steve Yzerman. I know hockey from the game, dude. That's and I follow it to see who's winning and all that. But dude, I mean, we're in Florida. I mean, we don't get too much hockey here.
We all we know is the Florida Panthers and the story about the rats.
The rats.
Like
you guys got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's been one of the best teams.
Yeah, the Lightning.
Yeah.
And the Panthers, man, they play 15 minutes from us, Javi?
Yeah, it's like right here.
Dude, they're
right at the Star Wars nights at the arena every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida, interesting fact, they came into the NHL the same year as my Ducks team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were both expansion teams together.
That I don't remember. That I didn't remember.
Yeah. 1994, I think.
Yeah, it was right it was right around there. Because I think they went, wasn't it 97? Was it?
Yeah.
When it was the rats and all that. It was somewhere around there.
Rats where people.
Yeah, when the Avalanche beat them. Yeah.
Bro, the Avalanche. They had that freaking goalie. Who's the goalie that they had?
Patrick Waugh.
Fuck. That guy was a monster, dude. God, that guy was good, bro.
Oh, yeah. Play hockey?
Huh?
Play hockey when you can, or?
No, I haven't played hockey since probably 2021. But I played a lot of leagues growing up, and never. I don't think I ever took conditioning seriously enough to do anything, professional or anything.
What position did you like to play?
I started off as a forward or defenseman, and I moved to goalie. I was like really good at goalie.
Nice.
But
hey, how scary is that, dude?
Yeah, I was thinking that you gotta have like no fear.
Well, I would think in the NHL it could be scary, but like at kid level and stuff growing up, nobody could shoot the puck hard enough to do anything, Right. I was never scared of that. But like I remember after I'd been a goalie going to an NHL game and being like at the ice when they practice at the beginning.
Yeah.
That puck goes so fast. I don't know how those guys can react like they do. I mean, it's scary down there.
Let me ask you a question. Wasn't there a story in the news about some guy? He's like 53-year-old goalie just came off of.
Oh yeah. I think it was David Ayer. I might have the first name wrong, but it's definitely Ayer. Well, what the NHL does is they have every team in their home arena. It's mandatory they have someone that's like. It's usually like an ex-college player or something like that that'll work there at the arena, but they're an emergency backup. And I've seen it before where like they get called to the bench and they're sitting on the bench in uniform because like one goalie gets hurt. But in this game in Toronto, so he actually played for Carolina, the visiting team, both goalies got hurt. And he came in and got a win, won a game for Carolina.
Wasn't he the driver of the, what's that thing called?
I think he drove Zambonis in the AHL because the AHL team, that's the league right below NHL, plays there. And then he was like maintenance guy during NHL games or something like that. Like he'd fix stuff, stuff like that. He might run a glass out if it breaks.
Yeah. And he's 53 years old?
Something like right around there, like either late 40s, early 50s. Yeah.
Nuts. Could that happen in any other? Could that happen in any other sport? Maybe a center. I don't.
I don't know. Like, I don't think so.
I don't think so, dude. I'm not
No.
talking down hockey at all, dude. That's still freaking amazing. I know.
Well, no, there
a few.
ain't a lot of sports that are like a specialized position like goalie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if someone got hurt in basketball, anyone could play. They might just have to change the formation.
Yeah.
You know, and in baseball, like, you're not necessarily going to run out of pitchers or, you know.
Like I could see a really old first baseman.
Yeah, yeah.
Super old, fat ass first baseman. He just has to have a little flexibility, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but see, I don't know if they'd allow that though, because that ball moves really fast. What if the guy got hit in the head with a line drive? Like,
Dude, that ball does come freaking fast.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Brady's gonna be 43 next year, and he just signed a 2-year, or $30 million a year contract. So
yeah, with Tampa Bay.
yeah, it's crazy, right? I can't imagine.
Yeah. On the way to work, I was listening to sports radio, and they're like, Tampa Bay had 47 sacks last year, and I'm like, can the 43-year-old man take 7 sacks?
No, he won't. No,
Because he was protected in New England, you know.
yeah, no, but he's not gonna hold on to the ball, man. He's not gonna get hit that much.
Yeah.
What's your football team?
I never really cheered for a team, even though we had the Rams here. I just sort of followed different players, and my last one I really followed was Peyton Manning.
Okay.
So I think he's a funny guy, and seems like he's genuinely a good person.
Yeah.
You know, off the field.
Isn't he hilarious? I think he's so freaking funny, man. When he's on Saturday Night Live, all the commercials with his brother.
Yeah. See, that's what's great about hockey players is they're almost all like that.
Really?
Just a quick story. One year that the Ducks came, because the Ducks usually come to St. Louis twice a year.
Okay.
And it happened to be about a month apart, the games. And I met a Ducks player named Frederick Olesen. A month later, because he just come walking down the street, like from the hotel, because we knew where the players entered. A month later, he comes walking down the street and remembers my name, my grandpa's name.
Are you
and
serious?
like stuff we talked about a month ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you know how much that blew me away? Like, you guys probably don't even know who Frederick Olsen was. He was a minor all-star type defenseman for a few years, won a cup with Detroit after what I'm talking about. But, you know, for this, you know, the Ducks' #1 defenseman knows remembers my name. Like,
Yeah.
Blew me away.
You're his freaking #1 fan right now. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But how cool is that?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like, hockey players are legitly, like, they're just good people. I mean, there's always bad apples, but
yeah,
most of them are good people.
I've heard that too, though, man. I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen Slapshot, but even the Hanson brothers were amazing. I fucking love them. Well, they're not real guys, you know. It's a movie, but I fucking love them, dude. I love the Hansons.
I like that movie Goon. That movie Goon.
Yeah, I know. It's a good movie.
It's called Goon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that sounds like I've seen that and I can't remember it, man. Oh my god.
2015, I think, or something, or around there, like mid 2010s.
Isn't that the guy from American Pie?
I don't remember. I'm not too familiar with who the actors were, but I just remember it being a fun, like, good hockey movie.
I gotta look at that movie. I think I've seen it, dude. It sounds so familiar, bro. The one I'm talking about is Slap.
If it's what I'm thinking of, it's the guy from American Pie, like.
Yeah.
And it's similar to Slapshot type movie.
You're talking about the guy that was with his mom, right? What was his name? Yeah, I did see that. That is, bro. It is. I did see that. Yes. What is his name? Yeah, Stifler. I did see that. It was good as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an old reference that'll pinpoint your age if you know you remember Stifler. Like, that was like the big movies when I was a teenager, all those movies.
Yeah, dude. I go a little way back. Mine is Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know, that's my.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a classic.
Yeah, I'm a Spicoli guy. You guys are Stifler. I'm Spicoli.
And then I think Javi'd be McLovin, right?
Yep, I'm McLovin.
Yeah. Oh man.
Look, Bacon is one of my really good friends knows some of the LA Kings. He hooked it up with some tickets when they played the Panthers. Yeah, dude, I believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Whiting, the Hanson brothers are real. Hell yeah, Steve. Shit, yeah.
The movie was fake, but the Hanson brothers are real.
They're real, dude. Hockey players are the nicest guys in the world until they put skates on.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Dude, I've only gone, what? American Pie was amazing. There probably wasn't a comic like that since, yeah, there you go. I've only gone to one hockey game, man. And I remember we were right next to the glass. And I forget, I know it was the Panthers. And I remember these two guys, they like bumped, right? From like in the first period, they bumped. And I was like, oh shit, this shit's going to go down. But nothing happened until the third period. Dude, and they bumped again. And it was like instant gloves off, dude. And they started fighting right in front of us. I was like, dude, that was coming since the first period. How cool is that shit?
Dude, if you have a chance to follow the game, it might have been a season later. Like they do not, they'll go get a beer together afterwards, but they don't forget the littlest slight, in a game.
Yeah, man, because I'm telling you, they bumped and they just looked at each other. And that was it. It was no word. You can't hear anyway because of the glass breaks the sound because you can't hear anything. But they just locked eyes, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's gonna go down," and nothing.
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
damn, dude, and then that was so good, dude. I haven't gone back, man. I gotta go see another game, dude. That was fun. I have a friend that goes all the time. What's up, Big Remo?
Yo, Remo, what's up?
We got Big, we got Bo, Steve, Mark. What's Remo saying? My nephew is a hockey star in the junior ranks here in the Bay Area. Nice, Remo, dude. Nice.
Awesome. Junior is a pretty big deal.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's like what? It's like the minor leagues kind of thing?
Well, I think, I don't know if American's similar to Canadian or if Remo's in Canada, but that's like where most of the NHL players come from is the junior leagues. It's like a miniature NHL for 18 to 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you could even be traded and stuff. Like it's a real big deal.
Wow. I believe Remo's in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Cali.
Yeah. It's probably not as big as Canada, but it's still a big deal. Like you could still make it, like if you're American, it's probably about as big as you get.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good luck, man. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Of course you did, Steve, man. Steve, of course.
I had season tickets to the Bolts for years.
Nice.
That's money well spent because they've been consistently good.
They've been consistently good, yeah. Now he's gonna be a big Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if Steve's gonna do that, but you don't know. All right, dude. Hey, man, we're over an hour. I don't know if you gotta go or we could just keep on hanging out. It's up to you, dude.
No, I can hang out a little longer.
Awesome, man.
I'm
You're Javi?
I'm good, man. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, dude. I love this freaking show. I look forward to it every week. Because we get to know different people in the community, and it's just so awesome. So,
yeah.
Tell us something else about you, man. What else are you into?
I'll just say I don't care, whichever. Sorry, my wife was
okay
holding up 2 games that for me to pick one of us to play later. So.
Oh, nice. Board game or?
No, we just recently got a Switch because we think the 2-year-old's going to be able to play soon, and I think that's a system she'll be able to play. And not only that, for us to play, it's something we could put, Baby Shark or whatever on the TV, and we could play it off to the side.
Yeah. Dude. So what game did you just pick?
We got a game that's because we were looking for a game like Wii Sports Resort or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting this in for Jane? She got this for my 2-year-old. It's if you don't have a kid, you probably don't even know who Ryan is, but he's sort of like Baby Shark and Blippi and all them.
Dude, is that the kid that does all the toys on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, that kid's massive.
Yeah, like the 3 I just named, they all have toys and stuff at Walmart. It's insane.
That guy's he's like the biggest YouTube personality on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's the freaking little kid that he does the reviews of the game of the toys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got his own video game.
Yeah, it looks like it's a version of Mario Kart racing or something.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Baby Shark, I hear that song too much. My sister has a kid now, and my nephew, he's like 1.5. But yeah, they put on Baby Shark, Puppy Pals, and all that.
I'll never forget we're at Walmart and she would yell like "doo-doo-doo," and like there ain't no "doo-doo-doo" at Walmart. And you look, there's like a end cap of Baby Shark toys. Like, well, I'm spending $20 now, you know.
God.
So,
Oh man, that's too funny.
Dude, I'm glad
yeah.
my kids are all grown up pretty much, man. Thank God for that, dude.
You escaped it. I was even watching The Simpsons, one of the new ones from this season, and they were singing Baby Shark on the car. It's like I can't get away from it.
Well, dude, you know what? I'm not complaining, man, because we have freaking Barney, man. I freaking hated Barney, dude.
Yeah.
God, so I don't know. Maybe I'd rather have Baby Shark than Barney. No, and what were the Teletubbies? I hated the Teletubbies, dude.
Yeah. Oh man.
What is it? Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street, man. But dude, the Teletubbies.
We had I have Blue's Clues. You remember Blue's Clues?
Oh, dude, I fucking love Blue's Clues.
That show ain't bad. Even my daughter watches that.
Oh wow, they still had this.
I don't know if it's new or not, but like she watches it. That's at least watchable.
Dude, I freaking love Blue's Clues, man.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, Mark, man. They're a babysitter, man. I used to have all the Sesame Street on VHS, and we would put on the videos. My kids were also addicted to the Power Rangers movies. Freaking Men in Black, dude. Men in Black was on freaking loop at my house, dude. God, I had that shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Are you not expecting? Are you hoping, or are you like wanting your kids to get into the collecting hobby or into comics?
Oh yeah, definitely. In a perfect world, they would.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, I sort of hope one of them really likes comics and one of them don't. So if a day don't come that we have to, well, you get Superman, you could have Batman. But I wouldn't mind if both of them are into it. But I think I'd probably be a little disappointed if at least one didn't like it.
It'll make it easier, dude.
Yeah.
My kids really were never into it except one, but the other ones I know want them. So
yeah,
it's gonna be tough. I don't know. I gotta do a will or some shit. I don't know.
Be like you get A through J, you get I through Z, something like that.
How do you separate it, man?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
or maybe now since you started with the action figures, one will get the action figures and the Archies, and the other one gets all the DC.
Exactly. There you go. Maybe they'll develop different tastes, so I don't have to choose.
Yeah,
dude. Some of those older Archies are big money, man.
Yeah.
People
it's crazy because when I was growing up, they were worthless. Like, nope. You come to comic dealers, I didn't think they were anything unless it was like 50s or older, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it's like all of that's money.
It's all money, dude. Everything's coming around. Even what I've noticed recently is like that old 60s DC love stories, romances, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, like all the Archie ripoff type stuff is big now, too. And I don't know if that's because of the Riverdale show or...
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, or if it's just coming into style.
It might be. It's crazy because I went to my shop the other day and he actually had like a box and he goes, yeah, man, these just came in and it was all romance comic books. And I was like, some of them were pretty cool, but they're just not my thing. But it was like, I know there's people that are collecting those now. It's almost like the horror, the anti-horror.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's like the anti-horror. Yeah.
Yeah, and like horror is already blowing up, so I think those romance books are going to be coming up big. And I got a feeling there's even less of those than there are horror, right?
Well, yeah, any book like that, like Archie or something directed towards a kid,
right?
Kids just destroy stuff. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It ain't like, at least in my opinion, from the 70s forward, I think people were taking care of superhero stuff.
Yeah.
But Archie wasn't getting taken care of, or even those titles that people didn't like the romance. Nobody was... In the 90s, nobody cared. Like,
nobody
it was worthless, you know?
Like, I could imagine back in the 70s, I think that's when the bags... To me, it's astonishing that anything pre-70 survived, and you could actually find it in good condition, because there was no bags of boards. You know what I'm saying?
There was no real collecting culture until the 70s.
I don't think there was even stores until the 70s.
Yeah, like everything, the first con, like all that started then.
In the 70s. So when I could only imagine, when let's say when Bags of Board started coming out, people would get those and they would bag all the superhero stuff. They were not bagging and boarding those romances, or the Archies even. I can't imagine.
Yeah. No. Well, I think they started taking better care of what was left of like Silver and Golden Age, but it would be like probably the horror stuff and certain things. Like I think Four Color has always been popular, but Archie, no. Like they might have treated the real old Archie or something, but
How is okay? You've been on YouTube a year.
Mm-hmm.
You had an amazing collection even before you came on. How has YouTube changed your life?
Well, like I said, I had those couple friends when I was teenagers. I just knew them a couple of years really that were nerds. I never had in my whole life until YouTube friends that knew about comics or collected. My wife was real supportive and she would collect with me and she'd listen to me talk about it, but she don't care what happens to Nightwing. You know, I mean, it don't affect her. So like meeting people and talking to people, and something I even say something like this right here, this is the payoff to doing YouTube, like getting to hang out and talk. And I've gotten to talk to a few people on the phone and
nice, yeah,
you know, on Instagram, but like doing a show with you guys is fantastic. Like,
bro, a year ago, would you ever have imagined that someone would reach out to you to get to know you and talk just about you a year later? You know?
You go back to 2 weeks before I started YouTube, I probably would have told you were dumb if you said I'd be on YouTube. And then 3 months into it, if you would have told me I was going live, I'd be like, you're insane. Like, I would never take it this serious. Yeah.
I think we're all in the same boat, dude. This is
yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much support we have.
It is. It was like I've kind of talked to you guys, you know, a couple times here or there, maybe in the chats.
The chats, yeah.
But it's cool to actually, like you asked if I want to stay on, well, it's like now we're past the nervous stage. It's like, you know, now it's fun. And so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like right before we went on, I was telling Tim, and I always get nervous when I'm on my channel and I'm doing a show on my channel. I always get nervous right before the show. I'm fine all day until right before it's almost like, okay, today we're on at 7. I gotta tell my wife I got a show at 7. All right, like, okay, this happened today about 6. We were downstairs, right, and she's like, I gotta go upstairs, I gotta go to your room, I got a show at 7. I got a show at 7. Like, relax. I just gotta go and get an envelope. I gotta pay a bill, and I go okay. So then right before the show starts, I get nervous. But then once, like you said, once it starts flowing, all your inhibitions, you relax, and it's just hanging out with friends, man, and it's amazing. Now when I go on somebody else's show, I ain't nervous at all, dude. I go, everything's good and I'm all right. I just gotta be myself and hang out and whatever, man. But yeah, dude, it's freaking amazing. Look at this, bro. You've been interviewed for an hour and almost 15 minutes. How does it feel, dude? A year ago, you would have been like,
oh,
hell wants to talk to me for an hour and 15 minutes about me.
I think now I'm getting a little used to YouTube. You know what I mean? So like the idea of going on doesn't shock me as much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I was real honored, like when Javi messaged me, like, oh wow, like you guys thought of me. Like that still kind of throws me off. Like I don't know how to phrase it. Like if it was something I've done with someone before, you know what I mean? But it's like I've never done anything with you guys. It's like, well, how'd you guys think of me? Like, wow, you know, that's real. I feel honored.
You were one of the first persons I thought about.
I was just about to say that. He's mentioned you pretty much since me and him started doing this. I think like 3 months ago. He goes, "What about Tim the Comic Collector?" And I go, "Reach out." And we almost got with you before.
Yeah, I think my work schedule was a little different then, and I think the day he wanted me to come on, I couldn't make it.
Yeah, I think we were doing
Like-
it Tuesdays then.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like
Tuesdays.
because Saturday through Tuesday, I got to wake up in 3. Well, I got to go to bed to wake up at 3 in the morning on those 3 days. Like the next 4 nights, I could stay up till 10 or 11, depending. So it's
No,
it's way
life,
easier for me.
It's life, dude. But
Yeah,
Javi mentioned you right from the beginning, man. So I am super happy that you finally made it on.
Yeah, same.
definitely.
It's been a lot of fun.
I just love your videos and how you like. I don't know what it is, but like I like your videos. I like watching your videos. I like how you display your books. I like how you talk about your books. And I don't know, maybe Hialeah saw it, but I guess we have more alike than we.
Yeah,
That's what I was mentioning before, bro. I know exactly why you like his videos, bro. It's you, dude. You freaking.
And one of the videos that, like I said, one of the first videos that I saw from you was that Archie collection, and I was like, man, like like nobody is doing these, like
yeah.
showing everything off, and yeah, man, I'm really grateful that we finally got to like just link up and do this, and hopefully we can do more in the future.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely. I really appreciate you saying that, and I hope to get back to showing collections like that. I've been planning on it. It's just sort of hard. Well, now my old phone, I could record. Well, this new phone, I can only record about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like I got to do everything live, which makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Tim. I love your videos too, bro. But
thank you.
it's doing this. Like I'll shoot somebody to Javi, and Javi hasn't seen it, and he'll ask me, okay. And the thing I know I do, I know Javi does it. I had seen your videos, and I was already subbed to you.
hmm
But like yesterday, I always go back to that whoever we're gonna interview. I go a few days before, and I just look at I look at what are they all about, because I might not know, or Javi might not. I do research basically. That's how I know about your Archies. I know about your Bailey DC, and
Mhm.
that's awesome too, man. Because you're just meeting new people, different collectors, and it's, dude, we're like a brotherhood, bro.
If there's one bad thing about YouTube, it's that there's so many cool channels in our community and people, and not enough time. Like I try so hard to watch as many different people as I can, and it just
You don't have the time. Man. You don't have the time. Like my wife right now is home because of all this stuff going on, and I'm like, she's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And I go, "Yeah," because it's like, yeah, because now I gotta entertain her, So shit. Now I'm not watching as much YouTube, and dude, it's just not enough time.
My favorite thing is the chats. Well, I mean, really, I guess this is the best. Getting to go on live, but I love being in the chats and talking to everybody, because then it feels like you're supporting people, even if you can't watch every person in the chat's videos.
Yeah.
Well, what I try to do is at least try to leave a comment too, man. Because try to leave a comment, and it's just hard, dude. It's just hard, and everybody understands that.
Yeah, so much good content out there, but that's why we do it.
Yeah,
we want to contribute, and we know that even though not everybody might be watching it, there's those people who are supporting, and even if they aren't watching, there's still that support there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, dude. We're almost at 120. I think we're gonna call it. Dude, thank you so much, Javi.
Thank you guys.
For coming on, dude. It was a pleasure to get to know you. It goes fast, doesn't it, dude?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Talking more manga and anime.
Maybe you guys should do a show together.
Yeah, I'm down to do stuff with you guys anytime.
Awesome, dude.
Definitely.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone in the chat tonight, we had a ton of great people in here. Everyone watching on the replay, thank you for coming by and watching this. Man, I don't know, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm always humbled by everybody that shows up, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be on. Tune in next Wednesday. Not sure the time, depending on the guest, but it'll either be 7, 8, 9, or 10. I'll put it up. It seems like it, right? We're trying to keep it on Wednesday, but you gotta go with everybody's
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, middle of the work week.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's all
Yeah.
cool, man. What is it? So yeah, dude. But love this community, the support in the community. It is, man. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Sorry I missed this show with them. Thank you, Super Russ. There's one of your boys, Super Russ.
Yeah. Super Russ.
Hey, who does Super Russ sound like? He has a voice that sounds like a character, man. I
Sounds
see
like
videos. I just don't know, man. He sounds like a character in a show, man. I'm gonna figure it out, man. All right. I know that kind of went left field, but
Yeah.
thanks for coming by, man. Everybody stay safe. Have a great week, man. Just be safe, man. Yeah, things are kind of dicey out there. I saw something with Robert G got hit in the head by trying to get toilet paper. I saw that on Instagram. So
Yeah, everybody.
Whoa.
okay,
Just
so
stay safe out there and just be consciously aware of yourself and everybody else around you. You know?
yeah, man. Perfect, dude. Okay, man. So long from the Sunshine State, everybody. Be good. Tim, thank you. Javi, thank you as always. Take care, everybody. Good night.